This Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. There's a reason people live here. There's a reason people bank here.
Welcome and thank you for sitting down with us today. Very excited to sit here with you. We're very excited for us when we saw the announcement that you were going to be the new CEO, or you are the new CEO of Central Hudson. So tell us a little bit about your history kind of with Central Hudson and how you got to kind of sit in the seat today.
Well, Frank, thank you. It's a great privilege and an honor to be appointed to this position. I've worked for Central Hudson for over 25 years. I grew up in the service territory, born and raised I was born up in upstate New York, but lived in Red Hook my entire life. And this is it's a wonderful opportunity. We have 1,000 very dedicated and committed employees to providing service to our customers in the Hudson Valley, and it is it's really an honor to be able to serve our customers and our employees.
So being with Central Hudson for over 20 years, I have to imagine you've seen a lot of change go on in this industry. So talk to us a little about when you first started years ago to today. What's the difference that you've seen going on?
Well, I think the expectations from our customers are growing. The technology is changing. The sophistication of our energy and energy delivery systems, both gas and electric, are really becoming a lot more sophisticated in terms of our ability to control and have knowledge of the status of our systems. We've got a long way to go to completely modernize our systems, but I think the level of service that we have provided to our customers is continued to improve. With what we've done on our systems in terms of making investments that either improve the quality or reliability. So lots of technology being deployed in our business right now.
So if we're looking at it from where we are now to where we're going to be, like in the last 20 years what you've seen happen to now, let's say in the next 20 years what may happen, what do you see that vision being? Well,
already we've seen major reforms. If you look at the industry in total, 15 years ago, utilities divested of their power plants and used to be involved in the generation side of the business. In the last 10 years and forward, we've seen an explosion of clean energy and really small renewable technologies like wind and solar that are really becoming more impactful on our systems. Customers are embracing it, and because of net metering, it's an opportunity for them to reduce their energy consumption and self-generate a portion of their supply. And I see a evolving model where there's a greater emphasis on the distribution system and small local generation than what we had been used to as an industry in terms of more centralized power plants.
And how do you see, for the customers that are out there, when they hear that, how does that benefit them in any way? What's the excitement for them?
Well, it benefits a lot of them from there's a cleaner source of energy. So we are displacing, when we do generate new forms with renewable energy, we are displacing probably an alternate fuel source. It's adding some reliability in terms of local generation to the system, perhaps picking up some resiliency with, rather than having bulk transmission lines and distribution, we have now more local sources of generation. And hopefully there are opportunities for us to use customer resources in a way that may obviate the need for us to make investments on our system. And that's really, that transformation of that business model is happening in REV right in a proceeding at the New York State Public Service Commission called REV, for Reforming the Energy Vision. So a lot of transitions underway in our business. It's a very, very exciting time for the industry.
So then let's talk about that from your change in role here, putting on the new hat as a CEO. How did that change? I mean, you've been here for a long time, but now all of a sudden you're top dog. Here it is, you're the CEO. So how did that change when you come in saying, okay, what's my vision? What am I doing? What do you see as your top kind of 3 responsibilities or things that you want to focus on with Central Hudson going forward?
Well, I'm very fortunate that I have had, a variety of positions here, and have some, breadth of knowledge of the business, but we also have a tremendous team in place here. So I guess I view my job as more of a kind of getting us to work together, see the trends, respond to the trends, work very closely as a team to figure out ways of improving the way in which we serve our customers. I don't think the grid or the natural gas systems that we operate are going away for a very long time. And we are part of the fabric of the communities we serve. Electric and gas service is an essential service. You lose those two things, it's like going back into 1890. And our customers rely on that service as part of their modern life. So I don't really have a burning platform of things that we need to change, but really incremental improvements and investing in our people. We have a balance sheet of about $2 billion, which represents the investment in our gas and electric systems in a 2,600 square mile service territory. But without the people that work at this company that know how it all works, it's really not worth all that much.
I'm a big believer that no matter what profession, what industry you're in, you don't stay somewhere for 20-something years unless you're enjoying it, you're stimulated by it, it's something you want to do, and especially move up in the company. So let me ask you that question is, you've been here a long time, you moved up to CEO, what do you enjoy most about this company? Why have you stayed here for that long?
It's a good question. I mean, when I got out of college, I was an electrical engineer and I started with the company. I left after 3 years to try something different. And I came back to Central Hudson after a short stint, not because I loved the utility industry. There is something about people at Central Hudson that is a special breed. And so I missed the people. I think this is, despite what people may think is a boring utility monopoly, this is an extraordinarily exciting business. And I think it has its challenges, it has its opportunities. But it's a wonderful business to be a part of, and I was fortunate to have spent time here and worked in a myriad of capacities and really learned the business. So this is really humbling, but it's a wonderful opportunity, and I hope that with the team that we have here and the outstanding employees that we have, that we look forward to serving our customers even better than we have in the past.
You've mentioned it a couple times already, and I know that there's part of an excitement out there that we had a kind of a local boy done good type of thing. We have somebody who grew up here in Red Hook, who's now come into Central Hudson, worked here for many years, now took it over. So talk to us a little about your localism, if you will. What's it been like growing up here for you and now being here now?
Yeah, it's just, it's really special. I mean, I grew up in Northern Dutchess. I was, typical high school kid. I played basketball, football, baseball. I went off to college in Schenectady and came back home and raised my kids, went to the same school that I did. I've established, relationships through Central Hudson with people throughout the Hudson Valley. It's very special. It's very exciting for me. I think, to me, kind of shocking how well it's been received by employees, my appointment, and my friends in the community are very excited for me. I mean, they just think that he's a smart guy, he knows what's going on. That's a good sign. And I think for a lot of the people that were a bit of a doubter of being acquired by a Canadian company a few years ago, I think this really fits in their model of doing what they said they were going to do in terms of being committed to being operated and managed locally. So it's a huge privilege, Frank. It really is. It's just I'm still kind of on cloud nine, even though it's only day 55. But who's counting?
So top 2 things you enjoy doing most in the Hudson Valley?
I mean, it's really hard. I'm a homeboy, so I like to just stay home on the weekends. But I mean, from the northern part of the service territory where you've got, old history like Claremont, where Robert Livingston lived, he was the guy that held the Bible when George Washington was sworn in as the first president, all the way to West Point at the southern end. There's just so much history. There's so much to do here. We have very, very distinct seasons. It's a great I would never live anywhere else. And I've been around a little bit and done some traveling, but the Hudson Valley is home, and there's just so many things to do.
So this is where we get to the tough questions and really the revealing question, and it's going to be, tell us something that no one knows about you.
I'm a country music junkie, and I painted the house one summer with my father. He made me listen to a transistor radio of country music, and at the end by the time we finished painting the house, I was hooked on old country music. So I still enjoy country music, but not many people believe that I listen to it.
Okay, so when you say old country music, tell us top 2 or 3 artists you love.
Well, Merle Haggard just died. He was probably one of my favorites. George Jones, George Strait, the original Hank Williams, old school country. But that won't be public, will it?
No, nobody will know. Just you and I.
Okay.
And is there a favorite, 1 or 2 favorite songs, favorite country songs?
If we make it through December is probably one of my all-time Merle Haggard songs. I mean, there's just so much, and I liked some of the new artists as well. But really. Fond memories of painting the house and hearing the same song over and over again. It just kind of drills into you after a while.
So if we were in your car, in your backyard, snuck in your house, would we hear you singing country songs? Or
you might a little bit, yeah.
Good. Anything else you want people to know about Central Hudson and what's going on here or in general that we haven't spoken about today?
I think people, people think of Central Hudson as their local utility, and to me, the word utility is a difficult word because it sounds like a monopolistic, bureaucratic company. And Central Hudson, to me, is at the forefront of trying to do new things and innovate in ways to serve our customers. This is not your father's Oldsmobile, and this is not your father's utility. We are doing things and have always done things as a small company that are really at the bleeding edge of applying technology and trying new things, in the better to serve our customers. And we're going to continue to try to push and innovate and do the very best that we can. So if there's something to take away, it's we are here. We're not going away. We're working very hard to serve you. We work hard to minimize our costs to serve you, and we're going to keep at it.
Well, look, I know that all of us at HVN, and we know our viewers because they express things to us regularly, are very excited to have you here and on board, and it's exciting to see the things that you're going to be accomplishing in the future, and really appreciate the time you're taking with us today.
Thank you very much, Frank. Appreciate it very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
This Business Newsmakers is brought to you by Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. There's a reason people live here. There's a reason people bank here.